Other than that, school's okay. Runny Nutbog still treats me like a bad smell or something. I used some of Dad's bold spice spray in case I did smell bad. Just a little squirt under my arms like he does in the morning. And I'll tell you right now, I'm never using that stuff again. The rash stung so badly I couldn't lift my arms for a week, which made PE really tricky. You live and learn. That felt right. Am I using that right? The other kids on my street, Molly, Eric, Jamelia, Katie, Charlie and Susie, seem pretty nice, although I've not really made any proper friends yet, and that's okay. I'm at school to learn, not to make friends. Ha 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 ha! I guess I'm still a teacher's kid, although they'll soon realise enough that my mum isn't just a science teacher, but an awesome inventor too. I mean, as soon as they see our homemade solar-powered family car that she invented, I bet they'll be banging on the door and wanting to hang out with me. I keep telling Mum to make it fly. A hover car would be so awesome, and I know she could totally do it. Dad says we wouldn't need to pay something called road tax then, because technically we wouldn't be using the road. But Mum says there are better things to invent than hover cars. As if! Frankie's top 3 things Mum should invent: hover car, hoverboard, hover bike. I have a huge list of super awesome stuff for her to invent for me, including those anti-gravity boots I've been banging on about for over a year. But no anti-gravity boot yet. Not even hover slippers. Just a pencil case. Okay, the pencil case is pretty cool. Mum does invent super awesome stuff, but she still is hidden away in her HSL, Home Science Lab, which is a fancy pants name for a garage. It's cool having a real science lab in our house, but the rules are pretty lame. Mum's Home Science Lab rules. Danger. The HSL is off limits to everyone except Mum. This is not a garage, it is a scientific research centre. No children, no toddlers, and no husbands in the HSL. Scientists only. This only makes the HSL, even more tempting for me, Dad and Max. We try to get sneak peeks of what she's working on whenever she leaves the door open. I'm not supposed to tell you this, but... well, guess there's no harm in it. You know that I said my mum had a really boring job for a really boring company where she had to invent really boring inventions, like the nose hair dryer for people with really long nose hair, and the ironing board treadmill for people who like to walk while they iron, or even worse, the dinner plate that's always dirty for people who love doing the washing up? Well, that was a lie. I made all that up, sorry. The truth is, before we moved to Freaky, Mum used to work for this top secret science company back in Greyville called Shadow Tech. Cool name, right? She invented loads of really awesome stuff for them that she said we're all going to have in the future, like luggage shrink zap that can shrink your suitcase at the airport so that everyone can take as much as they want on holiday. Mum had that idea when we went to Spain last year, and one of our suitcases was too heavy, so Dad had to take some stuff out. Unfortunately, when he opened the zip, the case exploded, and Mum fired Mum's knickers all over Terminal 1. Or the kid shutter upper, which was another zapping laser that keeps children quiet for 5 minutes. Mum got that idea on the same holiday. This invention was shortly followed by the Husbando Shush, the wonder machine that will turn your husband into a shush husband, which basically does the same thing, but it only works in husbands and the silencing effects last for a whole hour. Mum had to dismantle that one though, as the temptation to use it was too great for her to handle responsibly. That's what Dad said anyway, when Mum wasn't listening. And I can tell you all this now because Mum got fired from that job with Shadow Tech. They didn't really give her a good reason. Mum didn't like it there anyway. She said some of the people she worked with were trouble and not to be trusted. She was still angry about losing her job though, especially because they made her leave behind all the inventions she developed there as she was escorted from the building. Eventually, she turned her anger into science and came up with an idea that I think might be the coolest invention ever. If I tell you, will you promise not to tell anyone? I don't want to wait for your next letter to get the answer, so I'll just assume you won't tell a living soul. And if you do, something really bad will happen to you, like your toenails will fall off. Okay? Good. My mum is working on an invention in the HSL, the garage, that can control the weather. Awesome, right? It's called the Weather Ray. Okay, so it doesn't have the snazziest of names. I gave her a list of way cool names like the Weather Zapper 3000, the Weather Buster 3000, the Weather Beam 3000, the Weather Laser 3000. Putting 3000 after anything always makes it way better. She didn't like any of my names. She wouldn't even agree to add 3000 to her original name. I begged and begged her to let me see it, but she said, not until it's finished, just like she always does. She did let me see her blueprints for it though, which I have redrawn from memory below. You'll notice that it's not the ray gun Zap Danger uses to zap Dr. Vendetta in the last book. It's bigger and looks like a telescope, except instead of looking at the stars and planets and all the stuff that we love doing, you have to point it at the clouds and it can zap them into whatever sort of weather you want. Cool, huh? All this chemical reaction stuff happens inside it, and then it sends your weather order into the clouds for immediate delivery. You want 5 minutes of sunshine? Beep, it's yours. Sick of those British skies? Beep, gone. Tired of walking to the school in the freezing cold? Beep, sorted. Although instead of making us have sunny skies all year, Mum wants us to use it to slow global warming, which is pretty much a better idea. Not as much fun though. I knew having an inventor as a parent would pay off one day. Just think, when she's finished developing the weather ray, I'll be able to make a rain cloud appear right over Runny Nutbog's stupid head and pour down on him all day long. And I won't get into trouble because my mum's a teacher. Haha, that'll teach him to mess with the teacher's kid. This weather ray is going to change the world. There's just one problem though. Inventing weather-changing technology is seriously complicated, even for a super nerd like Mum. So she's working every spare minute to try and develop some sort of limiter that will stop the machine from overheating and creating a crazy out-of-control storm that could wipe out an entire town, possibly even the world, maybe even the whole universe. I mean, that would really suck if it did happen. But Mum promised she's not even going to switch it on until she's installed the limiter, so we're totally safe. Nothing could possibly go wrong, she says. Anyway, right back soon, okay? I really miss you. As a friend, because you smell nice. You smell nice, in a friend way. You smell like my friend, and I miss that smell. Frankie. P.S. Sorry about all that smell stuff at the end. You don't smell. Well, you do smell a bit, obviously, because everyone smells a bit. But you don't smell bad. You just smell skin and hair and stuff, which is nice. Why am I writing about smells? I'm so weird. Lols. Bye. PPS. Happy Valentine's Day.